The elected leaders in this state of Illinois are ignoring the law. They'd rather be a sanctuary state and continue to put those individuals above American citizens. ICE has issued over 1,664 detainers in Chicago alone. Now our ICE officers are facing a 1,000% increase in assaults against them. Since President Trump has taken office, we have arrested hundreds of thousands of these illegal criminals. I'm here today because the elected leaders in this state of Illinois are ignoring the law. In fact, they're being obstructionists when it comes to getting dangerous criminals off of their streets. They are deciding that dangerous criminals that are murderers, rapists, money launderers, have committed assault, that are trafficking children, are more important than the families that live in the communities here. That includes Governor Pritzker, Mayor Johnson, and others who have worked so hard to protect these dangerous criminals. They'd rather be a sanctuary state and continue to put those individuals above American citizens who built this country, who've raised their families here for generations and just want to be able to walk down the street safely at night and put their kids to bed and live a peaceful life. Today, I'm highlighting 4 different examples of individuals that we've recently arrested here out of this office with the good work of ICE and our HSI officers that we've taken off the streets without the help of the governor or the mayor. Our federal officers have had to do this alone without their support, and these dangerous individuals are now no longer victimizing people because of the good work that we do. Hector Bonaparte is a 42-year-old illegal Mexican alien who had previously been convicted of predatory sexual criminal assault against a victim under the age of 13. We have Jarvin Flores Santos, who's a 40-year-old Honduras individual who was arrested back in 2020 the first time for aggravated criminal sexual abuse and attempted criminal sexual abuse of a minor under the age of 13 again. And Waldemar Jabik, a Polish citizen who had been convicted in 2014 for attempted murder and then also aggravated domestic battery. He was convicted of these after he stabbed his own wife and his 19-year-old daughter. It was not the first time that police had been called to his house for domestic disturbance, but he was never held accountable until recently by these federal officers. Don Gay Silas, a 33-year-old illegal alien from Micronesia, has had 3 DUI convictions, and as well as convictions of criminal mischief, of wanton endangerment, and driving without a license. These individuals would still be out on our streets today, committing crimes and attacking people and harming them and hurting our children if Governor Pritzker and Mayor Johnson had their way, because their choice has been routinely over and over and over again to release these criminals back on the streets. The debate over so-called sanctuary policy has consequences for our law enforcement officers, but also for the families that live here and the businesses that are just trying to provide for their community. Governor Pritzker and Mayor Johnson are answering that question every single day of who should be our priority, who should be our responsibility, and over again, they're choosing criminals. In just the last 7 months, ICE has issued over 1,664 detainers in Chicago alone. 1,664 detainers we have lodged against violent criminals, and that is a 106% increase over what was issued during the Biden administration. Unfortunately, Chicago and its leadership has only honored 8% of those. That means every other person, when they're released from paying for the consequences of their crimes, back onto our streets without any notification to individuals or to the families that have been victimized by them. By getting those 8% at least off of the street, the brave men and women of ICE are saving American lives. Yesterday, we announced that now our ICE officers are facing a 1,000% increase in assaults against them. And you read about the stories and hear what's happening from coast to coast every day in our national media and in our press. But it's in large part due to the pro-sanctuary state and cities policies and the language of elected bureaucrats and politicians that are reckless with their lives and endangering their families. Every public official should talk about and work to protect people, to keep them safe and American people's lives safe.
27 cases isolated, in fact, 71% of current ICE detainees.
No, that's not true. charges and convictions, over 70% of them have pending charges against them or criminal convictions. The others all have final removal orders, which means they're eligible to go back home. Nobody's getting swept up. We're running targeted enforcement operations across the country, and using our case files and our information to know who is a criminal in this country that needs to be removed and who has a final removal order. Nothing's changed. Huh? What's wrong with our targeting? They're not following the law if they're here illegally. There's a right way to come to this country. And so, yes, I'm talking about criminals in these situations, absolutely. But we also have every situation where we have those that have final removal orders need to go home because their due process is over and they have their papers. 70% of these individuals that we have gone out and arrested and removed from the country have had those pending charges and criminal convictions against them.
Don't expect you to know the details of their specific case, so I wanted to give you a little context that calls for a broader answer on the question. About 4 months ago, ICE publicized the arrest of 2 men that be responsible for a mass shooting in Chicago. Your agency named them, and it got a lot of coverage. However, they have still not been charged in that mass shooting. So my question is whether if people sent to prison in El Salvador or 2 men accused here in Chicago of a mass shooting, is it responsible for ICE to publicly accuse people of violent crimes before they've been charged?
Well, we follow cases and prosecute cases and turn them over for prosecution just like any other law enforcement agency does. So when we sweep up somebody who's committed an act of violence like that and turn it over, that is public information that is out there. And people need to know who is perpetuating these crimes. And we continue building cases then on who they're affiliated with. Is there further dangers? Our investigators are some of the best in the country that are out there making sure that not only is that person now incarcerated, but who were they affiliated with that could be another danger that we need to continue to look at. So
even if they haven't been officially charged?
I would say we follow the exact same process every federal agency does, every state agency does for law enforcement. So we have not changed our methods or how we handle cases or how we even communicate about them than we have since the very beginning, or how the Biden administration did, or the Obama administration. We do it exactly the same. What I wish is you guys would talk about the victims more. How many people were shot in that mass shooting? How many people were victimized? How are their families doing? You all spend so much time talking about the poor justice for these criminals that are harming individuals every single day, and you don't even think twice to go talk to a mom who's now lived for a year and a half without her daughter. Go talk to somebody and see how they're doing, trying to get their kids to school, not sure if they're safe. So I would encourage you to remember that there's always victims in these situations, and many times you're focusing on the one who made them a victim.